In this video, we're going to learn data entry. But first, if this is the first time you've been on Learn with Ease, please subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you. Alright, so data entry, for those who don't know, is the process of entering data or information into a computer, mainly most times from primary or secondary sources, and most times these are done in spreadsheet softwares like Spss that we're gonna use right here. So when entering data into Spss, there are some things that you should know before doing that. First of all, you should know that Spss has a data view and a variable view, which I presume most of us know. The data view and the variable view. So the variable view is where you create your variables, where you give it a name, where you give it a type, decimals, where you give it a label, where you give it values. So that is what we do in the variable view. And there are different variables, types of variables when entering a variable in Spss. We have Likert scales, we have dichotomous variables, we have continuous variables. So now the Likert scale is a rating scale used to measure opinions, attitudes, or behavior of respondents. So it consists of a statement or a question followed by a series of 5 or 7 statements. So respondents can choose the options that best corresponds with how they feel about the statement or the question. Alright, we are going to start with the Likert variable. I'll have an example like, for instance, we at Learn with Ease wants to know how satisfied you are with our services. So the question might be, how satisfied are you with the service you received from Learn with Ease? So we might give you 5 options to pick how you feel from them. We might give you very satisfied, moderately satisfied, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied, moderately dissatisfied, and very dissatisfied. So you have to pick one of them. Okay, so let's say the name of this variable will be let's say satisfaction. All right, so this variable type is a string. It's a string. Click string, click OK. Then label now explains the variable, because you can't write the detail of this variable and the variable name because it doesn't accept space bar, and moreover it doesn't accept more words or letters. Alright, so this is where you explain your variable label. So we explain that our variable is how satisfied are you with the services you received from Learn with Ease. So this is where you write the detail of your variable, that is if you have any. Alright, so now the values, this is where you attach the options that you have, the 5 options that you have. So the values here, the value should be numbers. We use 1 for very satisfied, 2 for moderately satisfied, 3 for neither satisfied nor dissatisfied, 4 for moderately dissatisfied, and 5 for very satisfied. So we use these numbers to replace these options so that whenever you type any of these numbers, the label appears. Alright, so we use 1 for very satisfied, and we use 2 for moderately satisfied, then we use 3 for neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. We use 4 for moderately satisfied, then 5 finally for very satisfied. I might be having some typographical errors, bear with me. Alright, so add. Alright, so now we've added the value labels for satisfaction. Click OK. So missing variables is what happens if there is any missing data in your variable, in this variable. What number should replace it? But for here we'll use none. So align should the variable name should be aligned from the left. So the measure, this is a nominal variable. In my previous video I've explained all this, why you should use nominal or ordinal or scale. So I've explained this in my previous video. Alright, so the next kind of variable that we'll have is the dichotomous variables. So this kind of variable, is not the kind of variable that will want you to like pick an option of how you feel or satisfy. This kind of variable shows identity, or it shows levels. Yes. So now for instance we might have gender. So gender is a string variable because it doesn't deal with numbers. It's a string variable, so you can label it here as gender of respondents, or gender of farmers, or gender of students, like that. It's just for you to explain what the gender of what. All right, so the values. All right, so gender is a dichotomous variable, and dichotomous variables are also variables that you need to assign values to them, value labels to them. All right, so use 1 for male, use 2 for female, add, then click OK. Alright, so yeah, gender is a nominal variable too. So there's another kind of okay, under the dichotomous variable we might have educational level or educational background. So in education here you might have tertiary, secondary and primary education. Alright, so we have education, this should be a string variable also. Click on string. Okay, you might say education of respondent, educational level of respondent, or educational background of respondent. Alright, so okay, then the values, because it has more than one options for the respondents to pick, to choose. So we use 1 for tertiary, 2 for secondary, add 3 for primary, then you add. Alright, so click OK. So the next type of variable that we have is the continuous variable. So the continuous variable is a numeric variable, type of variable. Also, it deals with numbers. Yes, it is with numbers. So my example will have weight, height, age, score, temperature. So those are examples of continuous variables. So let's say we have a variable weight. That's a numeric variable. Let's leave it at 2 decimal places. We don't need values, missing values, or missing values in them. Alright, and what you should know that is numeric variables of this or continuous variables are measured in scale. Alright, so the next kind of continuous variable that we'll have is score. Maybe score in exams or wherever, and scores are from 100, 0 to 100. So it's a numeric variable also. We'll leave it there, leave it at scale. Alright, another thing you should know is that the variables are grouped into two: qualitative variables and quantitative variables. So satisfaction, gender, education are qualitative variables. Weight and score are quantitative variables because they deal with size and numbers. Alright, and one other thing you should know is that your variable name have characters that they don't accept. Yes, that is characters like addition sign, subtraction sign, division sign, parentheses, the and sign. They don't accept that, but the only characters that your name, the variable name, accepts is the minus, the what do we call it, the hashtag sign, the underscore sign, the dollar sign, and the at sign. Let me show you an example here. Okay, let's say we use the division sign. Let's see what will happen. The variable name contains illegal character, so it's not accepted. Yeah. Let's say we use the plus sign. The variable name contains illegal character, so it's not accepted. But let's use underscore. Underscore Q. It's accepted. Let's say we use hashtag. It's accept hashtag. So I guess you understand what I mean. Alright, so and also you don't use space, the spacing when typing the names, the name of the variable, like space. No, it's not needed. Alright, so it's just you just spell it once without space, or if you want to like attach two different words together, you can use the underscore, you can use the hashtag, you can use the at sign. Alright, so that's it for the data, for the variable view. So when you are done creating your variables, so you now go to the data view now to impute data, the data of those variables that you have in your questionnaire. Alright, so maybe in your questionnaire you have the satisfaction, and some persons choose very satisfied, some persons chose neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. So person chose moderately satisfied. You input them like that way. Just type the numbers and enter, and what you have assigned for them will show itself there. Then gender, so you know we have male and female, and we used 1 for male, 2 for female, like that. Educational level, we have 1 for tertiary, 2 for, so this is how you input, you enter your data in SPSS. Then weights, we have from 0, weights we have from 1 and above, so in kgs. Alright, so the score we have from 0 to 100. Like that. So this is how you enter data in SPSS. It's simple, but you might have a bulky work and you can still do it this way. So I guess you understood and you got what you're looking for. Please share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.